So just first things first, obviously, names and titles.
Zach Verwink, Mayor, City of Wisconsin Rapids.
Dorian Greenwood, Mayor's Youth Council President, also City of Wisconsin Rapids.
Yes, resident, but
Yeah,
resident that did a lot of work to get this done.
President.
That's right. Yeah.
President, resident.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mayor Zach, I wanted to start with you because this was, I guess you could almost say this was your first civic engagement project. Is that correct?
I would say so. I remember transitioning with my predecessor over coffee and having a conversation that the pool needs to get done. And getting it done is probably an appreciation now that I have way greater understanding about than I ever imagined. And you heard Alderperson Tom Rayom talk about the generations, the decades that this project took to, in some form, to get to this next iteration. And so I didn't quite fully appreciate how challenging it would have been to get this project done. If my predecessor would have told me so, I wouldn't have believed her. I would have hoped it was a lot easier, but this is one of those things, yes, to my first civics lesson, no question.
And you also wrote some letters about it too when you were in high school yourself, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I wrote a letter to then Mayor Virginski in, I think it was 2001. I would have been 11, and I had suggested that they put the pool adjacent to what is now going to be a Boys and Girls Club YMCA when Walmart left that site. And at that point I said, it'd be great to put a senior center and a community pool in the same place, and it never happened for whatever reason. But here we are today, celebrating a very important occasion in the city, and really for greater central Wisconsin. I think of Wisconsin Rapids doing its part when it comes to adding recreational opportunities, adding family-friendly amenities that get people to move to central Wisconsin, not just Wisconsin Rapids. And we're doing our part. And I think come next year, as we saw with the splash pad and some of our other amenities, folks really enjoyed the outdoor recreation that the city of Wisconsin Rapids has been emphasizing. We spend way too much of our lives indoors, and why not create other spaces for us to get outdoors, get healthy, and become happier?
And obviously your primary user of this is going to be the younger generation, which is where the Mayor's Youth Council came in. So, I mean, for you, this is something that you're not just doing for yourself because you need something to do in Wisconsin Rapids in the summer. You're doing this for your future generations.
Yeah, so my whole generation right now is kind of spreading out to other cities, and I'd like to see them stay here. I'd like to see Wisconsin Rapids develop and make it a better place where people can live their entire life.
And this is something too that you had a hand in planning and doing the surveys and things like that. So talk about the information that you received in that process.
So Mayor's Youth Council sent out a survey in the very beginning of our development, and we received feedback from the various public schools, and they all wanted a pool with amenities. So we have the water slides going in, the rock climbing wall, the concession stands. So it's really what our youth wanted.
So all the things that came back in that survey are going to be seen in this facility in one way.
Correct. Yeah, that's our goal.
And then you talked about the facility too being a year-round facility. How important was that as well?
Yeah, just as important year-round as multi-generational. While I think the first reaction is people think it's for young families or young children, we were very intentional about adding features in the pool facility that seniors and those that are doing water exercise, because of it's easier on their joints and easier to get active, that we want to make sure it provided recreational activities across the age spectrum. But in terms of the year-round activities, adding winter skating, leisure skating, as well as lowboard hockey on the site, it'll be a great place for smaller community festivals to be held, because the facility and the buildings are year-round, mostly year-round buildings. Of course, the pool isn't going to be used in the wintertime, but the other amenities. So if we're going to make the investment, it needed to have year-round use and year-round utility, because it is heavily supported by taxpayer funding.
Talk about the fundraising as well. You still need to do some fundraising yet to carry the project excuse me, across the finish line completely.
Yeah, so the round number of the facility is about $12 million, and that's with all the design costs and all the other costs. but in terms of the actual construction, it's about 11 million, and we're hoping to raise 3 million more from the community to completely round out all the features and pieces into the project.
And then how is the Mayor's Youth Council going to be involved in that as well?
So the Mayor's Youth Council hopes to continue their involvement in fundraising. We'll probably still continue our 50-50 raffles at the Rafters games and do more one-on-one consultations, and yeah, really just get out in the community and get those donations.
So then for you then, how, I mean, you come back here 2-3 years and getting to use this facility,
I know,
what's
it'll be
that going to
crazy.
be like?
Yeah, it'll be so cool to like see our vision come to life down the road.
And then to know that you had a hand in it when you go out there and swim, it's your project, right?
Right.
Not
Maybe
quite,
I'll take my kids back here someday and say, look what we did.
Absolutely. Anything else that either one of you would like to add then?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
All right, perfect. Stop right there. Stop right